Strong to severe thunderstorms on the move across central and eastern Kentucky. Straight ahead, I'll show you why this may be the opening act of a stormy period.
She's missed more today than she was 3 years ago.
The search continues for a Madison County teenager who disappeared in 2013. Why Brooklyn Farthing's family is not giving up.
Two unusual crimes in two counties.
Tricked it into thinking it was getting money, and it started returning money to them.
Now police say these two men are breaking into coin machines.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Strong storms left their mark on parts of the region this afternoon. Here in Lexington, a tree was knocked down on Haley Road. Good evening to you. The first round of storms now heading to the south, and here in Lexington, we're gearing up for more.
But this is not the end of the storms this week, which is why our First Alert Severe Weather Day continues into tonight. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, guys, I'll tell you flat out, it's going to roll into Wednesday and Thursday as well for additional rounds of thunderstorms that can produce additional wind damage into parts of central and eastern Kentucky. Defender Radar Network now squeezing a lot of those thunderstorms into southern and southeastern Kentucky. Storm on top of London is this close to going severe. Thunder and lightning really winding down a little bit here into Hazard and Hyden. Those southern parts of Leslie County dealing with a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. Keep an eye on those creeks and streams. These storms are putting down a tremendous amount of water. Manchester, Clay County, over into Laurel County. Look at the thunder and lightning from East Bernstadt into London, down toward the Keavy area. Downtown London, heavy rains here. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't start to get a little report of some minor street flooding over the next little bit. The light show is absolutely fantastic right now. If you're just a weather nut, you want to look at lightning, boy, this is a big concentration on the lightning. Of course, do it from inside, by the way. The thunderstorm on top of London, again, this close to going severe. It's trying to develop back to the west into parts of Pulaski County near the Mount Victory area. 3D Defender showing that storm on top of Laurel County is spiking up above all the rest. So we'll watch into Knox County, into parts of Whitley County coming up as well. Other thunderstorms still developing south of Urban, Estill County, where we had some wind damage earlier. That'll drop into parts of Lee and Owsley counties. Lexington and North beginning to dry the skies up. That's going to be a trend that'll carry us into the evening. Straight ahead, we'll focus more on the severe weather threat coming down the road for the next couple of days.
Chris, thank you. And remember, you can get the latest radar forecast and weather headlines on WKYT.com and the WKYT News app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores.
It's been 3 years since a Madison County teenager disappeared. Brooklyn Farthing was 18 when she was last seen at a home in Berea.
And since then, police have followed up on countless tips, but still no answers. Andrea Walker talked to Brooklyn's stepfather today, who says he still feels the pain of not knowing what happened to her. Andrea has our top story at 5:30.
June 22nd, 2013.
Everyone that met her liked her.
That's the last time Brooklyn Farthing was seen alive.
She's missed more today than she was 3 years ago.
While it's hard to still have no concrete answers, Brooke's stepfather, Randall Walker, says the family will never give up searching.
It has not stopped, even though you don't see it on TV all the time. We've not stopped looking for Brooke and never will stop looking for Brooke.
He says the most frustrating part of the situation is knowing there are answers out there somewhere.
Oh, there's definitely someone out there that knows what happened. You just can't walk off the face of the earth without someone knowing you failed.
And while they'd like to see justice served, it's not about that anymore.
We all look for justice. But at this point in time, 3 years later, this family needs closure. Somebody knows something. And that's all we want is closure.
Andrea Walker, WKYT.
If you have any information about this case, you can send an anonymous tip to findbrookefarthing.com. We have a link to that page on our website, WKYT.com.
Jessamine County leaders are hoping the state will step up and help make a road there safer after another crash, this one deadly. Now, the coroner says 24-year-old Ashton Boyd died after crashing his car into Faulkner Fane Woodworking on Highway 39 in Nicholasville. The county's judge executive calls the area dangerous because drivers come over a hill and into a curve. He says they've been working on ways to make this area safer for drivers.
We're going to be in contact with the District 7 office of the State Highway of Transportation. We're going to get them out here, take a look, whether it's a shortening of this merge lane, whether it's an installation of a guardrail, but we're going to be in discussions with them of what we can do to make this area safer.
Boyd was the only person involved in the crash. Police believe both speed and alcohol were factors.
After a week of searching, crews have found the body of a missing man in Taylorsville Lake. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Spencer County. Police say 48-year-old Zoran Jeftik of Louisville went missing last Sunday while boating with his wife and daughter. Their boat started to take on water and Jeftik fell overboard. Investigators believe he may have been poisoned by carbon monoxide. And in Perry County, a grand jury has indicted a man charged in connection to a deadly stabbing that happened a year and a half ago. State police say 21-year-old Edward Hughes and 29-year-old Alan Williams got into an argument in December of 2014 outside Cherokee Hills Apartments in Hazard. Troopers say Williams then pulled out a knife and stabbed Hughes in the chest. Hughes later died at a hospital. Today, a grand jury indicted Williams on murder charges.
Police are calling it an unusual crime. Tonight, investigators in 2 counties are looking for 2 men wanted for breaking into change machines at car washes. The first one happened in Jessamine County, and then a few days later in Pike County. Mark Barber takes a look at the surveillance photos in this Crime Tracker alert.
Police say this is an unusual case, and now it's happened in 2 counties. Police say in the first case, 2 men used tools to break into change machines at a car wash and got away with hundreds of dollars in change. In the second case, investigators say the men did not get away with any money, but they caused hundreds of dollars in damage to those machines. Investigators think we could start seeing more and more of these cases in other counties.
2 individuals showed up on the 15th and used some type of device to put into the machine, which tricked it into thinking it was getting money, and it started returning money to them.
The first time clever crooks cracked a change machine, it was in Nicholasville, where 2 men in a Ford Fusion targeted the Spit and Shine car wash. The owner of the car wash says the crooks conned his change machine out of $1,200. Then, 4 days later, 2 different men tried the same thing at a car wash in Pike County. They didn't get any money, but they caused $1,500 in damage to that change machine. Police think businesses that use these machines could start seeing more and more of these cases. So they're asking law enforcement agencies and other counties to be on the lookout.
Other people are watching this, and that maybe this has happened to them, or these other police departments take notice of this. Maybe we can all get together and see if there's any common denominator.
Police are asking anyone who recognizes these men or knows anything about these 2 thefts to call them. In Jessamine County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The owner of the car wash in Nicholasville is offering a $100 reward to anyone with information that leads to an arrest.
New tonight, we have learned that a state representative has been named in court documents in an ongoing vote buying scheme. Democrat John Short represents District 92 in eastern Kentucky. In the documents, there is testimony from Scott McCarty, who has admitted to helping buy votes in Magoffin County in 2014. McCarty says Short and the county's judge executive, Charles Doc Harden, approached him for help in the primary that year. He says the 2 of them insisted they do, quote, whatever it took to get Short elected. Short's attorney has not commented on the allegations. A group of University of Louisville faculty is asking the Board of Trustees to fight the governor's plan to dissolve the board. On Friday, Governor Bevin announced U of L President James Ramsey will resign and that he's replacing the board. The group of 47 faculty says the move creates a governance crisis that jeopardizes the university's accreditation. The Courier-Journal reports the group met yesterday to talk about reversing the governor's orders.
You see them at stoplights, in the medians where cars are stopped, and in parking lots of large stores. Lexington city leaders say that panhandlers, people asking for money, are a growing problem in our area. Our good question is from Robin. I've been seeing a growing trend of panhandlers on several street corners and wanted to know if it was illegal in Lexington. Well, yes, Robin, it is against the law in Lexington to beg for money on public streets, but the law is difficult to enforce. Charlie Lanter of Lexington's Office of Homelessness Prevention and Intervention says that police must witness someone actually accepting money by begging. Just holding a sign that they say they're hungry or homeless is not illegal. Lanter and police say they're receiving more complaints about panhandlers. They can be fined $50 to $100 or put in jail for 10 to 30 days if they are convicted of the offense. To submit a good question, send an email to goodquestion@WKYT.com.
Still ahead on WKYT News at 5:30, the U.S. Senate votes down 4 gun policy measures. We're talking to Senator Rand Paul about how he plans to avoid something like Orlando from happening again.
Strong and severe thunderstorms blasting parts of central and eastern Kentucky early this evening. I'll show you after the break how we get additional rounds over the next few days. Stay with us. WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. This is going to roll on into Wednesday and Thursday. Those rounds of thunderstorms we've talked about. Well, the first round is into parts of southern Kentucky now, and additional rounds are on the way. Live sky cams, severe weather cams showing how the sun is now taking over our sky into Frankfort, into Florence and Lexington. Look at Jackson, though. We've had heavy rain, thunder, lightning just now getting in on the act here into Corbin. So it's southern and southeastern Kentucky, where your temperatures under the rain, we've dropped it into the upper 60s. Outside the rain, steamy mid to upper 80s. East side of Lexington, though, it's looking at the stations, 80 degrees right now. On the west side, at Bluegrass Airport thermometer is hotter than everybody else, obviously, in the city. We look at what's going on into southeastern Kentucky. Severe thunderstorms into parts of Pike County as of now. Very big-time thunderstorm here to the southeast of the London area. That is close to going severe as it crosses into parts of Knox County, Manchester, over toward sections of Leslie County. A lot of thunder and lightning. Harlan, that is heading in your general direction. Downtown London and points south and southeast. That's where we're getting the greatest concentration now. Downtown London, for the past 15 minutes, we've cleaned the skies up much better than what we were seeing. Sublimity City and points to the south toward Corbin and North Corbin. Look at downtown Corbin and north side of Corbin as well, getting in on a lot of heavy rain, a lot of thunder and lightning as this storm toward Mount Victory begins to gear up a little bit as well. 3D Defender still showing this as the big daddy of the storms into parts of southeastern Kentucky, and that'll roll its way across Knox County, Williamsburg, Barberville. Get ready. Barberville, watch the creeks and streams. You had a big thunderstorm drop better than an inch of rain earlier this afternoon. Heavy rain again, Beattyville down to Boonville. Those are 2 areas hit hard by some storms earlier this afternoon. Lexington North, breathe a little sense of relief this evening. Nothing that is going on over the next several hours, at least with those thunderstorms dropping into parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky. Hour by hour future radar, 8 o'clock this evening. Into 11 o'clock, skies begin to clean up, even into southeastern Kentucky. Though late tonight and tomorrow, this is only a 12-hour loop, by the way, we'll watch the northwestern sky for some thunderstorms that will begin to develop. That's by 5 o'clock tomorrow. That will lead to additional rounds of potentially strong and severe storms tomorrow, then into Thursday as well. High winds, some local flash flooding, the primary players with the rounds of storms that will just keep coming at us over the next few days. So that 3-day threat track, severe thunderstorms, especially the farther north and east you go tomorrow. I think it's area-wide for the day on Thursday. Looking for better weather? Friday's your day. Temperatures come down a little bit. Humidity levels will drop as well behind the front, and then we're going to steam it up big time as we go into the upcoming weekend. But for the rest of the evening, the farther south and southeast you go, the greater the threat for severe weather. And by 8, 9 o'clock or so, that threat is down into parts of Tennessee. Here's a 7-day forecast. Friday looks to be the pick day of the next week, even though the weekend is mainly dry. It's going to really heat up. I think 90 to 95 is a good possibility. Saturday and Sunday, high humidities during that time can lead to additional booming thunderstorms into the first part of next week. Still more rounds to go through the next few days, guys.
We know you'll be watching.
We'll be all over it.
Thank you.
Inbound Nicholas Road at Man of War. The right lane is blocked. There's a concrete truck that apparently lost part of its load, so they have the right lane blocked there for cleanup now. Also a collision at Athens, Boonesboro, and DeLong Road, or Old Richmond along that is. That's a non-injury crash. Police are trying to get that cleared. The interstate looks okay. In the Clark County on 64, things are normal. Other direction toward Winchester, no major delays. Now back to you in the studio.
Lawmakers are speaking out today after a series of gun measures were blocked in the Senate Monday night.
Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer caught up with some senators, including Rand Paul, to find out what they'll try next.
To make America safer.
Maine Senator Susan Collins, a Republican, is leading a new for gun control measures in Congress. Her bill would prohibit gun sales to those on the government's no-fly list. It's quickly gaining bipartisan support from Democrats like Virginia Senator Tim Kaine.
I'm really sick of getting to the end of all of it and not doing something about it and seeing that happen again and again and again and again.
This new legislation comes after a series of 4 gun control measures were voted down here in the Senate on Monday night. 2 Democratic amendments and 2 Republican. The 2 Democratic amendments would have blocked gun sales to those on the no-fly list and required background checks for sales at gun shows and over the internet. The 2 Republican measures would have notified the FBI if people on the terror watch list tried to buy a gun and focused on updating the mental health considerations for the background check system.
Virginia Senator Mark Warner says he would have liked to see a resolution on Monday, but says he's willing to look into Collins' new bill. He doesn't agree with some on the other side who say no changes can be made to gun laws.
This would be the first step in at least the Senate starting to move off that position.
Collins' bill is similar to the one proposed Monday, but targets a smaller group of gun buyers. The bill also requires a 5-year look-back provision, alerting the FBI when someone who's been on the no-fly list in the last 5 years tries to buy a gun. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has supported that measure for a while.
If they had a bill that did just that, it would pass.
Now the question is, can Collins' bill pass in its entirety? Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
After the Senate voted down the gun control measures last night, Lexington Mayor and U.S. Senate candidate Jim Gray called out Senator Paul. He said the greatest responsibility our elected officials in Washington have is to keep Americans safe. Senator Paul has repeatedly failed to meet this standard, and he did so again tonight by voting to keep open a loophole that allows suspected terrorists to buy guns. End of quote. We will have his full statement on our website, WKYT.com.
The All-Stars take the field tonight here in Lexington.
Well, that's right. South Atlantic League All-Star game. Brian Milam will have a report from Whitaker Bank Ballpark, and John Calipari talking about his players in the draft. What he said this morning about Jamal Murray and about Alex Poitras. Sports is next. Kentucky coach John Calipari going on a teleconference this morning and talking about his players as they look forward to Thursday's NBA draft. Calipari has Jamal Murray, Skal Labissiere, Tyler Ulis, and Alex Poitras all in the draft. Now today, Cal touted Poitras, and he made a prediction about Murray.
I believe that Jamal Murray will be the leading scoring rookie in the NBA. That's what I believe. I am so proud of Alex right now. These teams are calling me back like saying, you know, he's gotten healthy, his leg strength on both sides, which some of that falls on us in us here where, you know, he was probably injured more than we thought throughout this year. But his shooting and all that, all of a sudden, he becomes that solid second round. Maybe he slips late first.
And with the draft now just 2 days off, Jamal Murray is signed with Adidas. Adidas also announcing that Brandon Ingram, Chris Dunn, and Jaylen Brown have signed on. Devin Booker signed with Adidas after he left for the NBA last year. South Atlantic League All-Star Game is tonight at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, and Brian Milam is out there with the stars of the Sally League.
Thank you very much, Rob, here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark, where tonight the 57th annual South Atlantic League All-Star Game will be played in Lexington for the second time. And one thing you notice when you look at the rosters of both sides, there are a lot of sons of former major leaguers, and that gives them something of an advantage, maybe, as they pursue their professional career.
We don't really talk about baseball at times, so it's whatever I ask, he tells me. But we talk a lot, you know, when things go bad. You know, we talk a lot because those are the points where you got to teach, you know.
It's awesome to be able to follow my father's footsteps and hopefully one day be able to win a ring and put up better numbers than he did.
If your dad loves football, you're probably going to love football. My dad happened to love baseball, and I love baseball too. He kind of instilled that in me, and I thank him for it. But yeah, I guess we have a unique bond in some way because our dads all did this for a living, and now we are.
So the sons of some of these major leaguers, they're looking to make a name for themselves somewhere down the road, and who knows, maybe we'll see them in the major leagues in the near future. Reporting from Whitaker Bank Ballpark, I'm Brian Milam, WKYT.
Thank you, Brian. Should be a great night out there. In the next half hour, Cal talks about Tyler Ulis. Stay with us.